Good morning, everyone. This is Donnie with Standing Goats Rescue, and I've got Kim with me today.
Good morning.
Just wanted to kind of give you, fill you guys in on the situation with Goomba. Most of you that have been with us for a while, you know who Goomba is. He was the largest goat of our herd,
Yes.
right at 240 pounds. And originally, Goomba was the people who originally got him. They got him for slaughter. They raised him up, and Kim and the farmer's wife were talking, and they had to move due to the farmer's job. He worked a full-time job and ran a full-time farm, and their options were to slaughter Goomba so that they only had packets of meat to deal with or get rid of him. And Kim talked her into letting us take him. So he was rescued from slaughter. And we got him home. He's been with us for several years, and just an amazing animal. One of the largest goats that either one of us have seen. And everybody that's been around him, we're always amazed at his physical size. He was a giant. Yeah. But he fell ill, and we've been fighting with that for over a week. And we ended up, talking with the veterinarians, and Kim would call them, and they were kind of guiding us through, how to treat him because he's such a large animal. He's only been in a vehicle one time, and that was when we brought him home. His very first ride, he was a newborn, went straight to the farm, and then from there, they had him for about a year, and then we got him. And so loading him in a vehicle is difficult because we don't have a livestock trailer. So he has to be picked up and put into the back of the van. And it was just Kim and me. But it got to the point he was not improving. He wasn't quite lethargic yet, but he was very, very close to getting there. Within another day or so, he would have absolutely been down permanently. And Kim called our vet, and he said, load him up and get him in now. So we took him up there to Panhandle Veterinary Clinic. They're our main vet. They know us well.
Amazing vet.
And they worked on him. They tried everything they could, ran numerous tests on him, and whatever was going on, they had no idea. They've never seen what was going on with him. So they contacted University of Auburn, which is in Alabama, and they said, get him up here. I couldn't go because we have animals, and there's no way we can be gone overnight without anyone there. So Rosie and Kim took off. Let me backtrack. When we left the vet here at Panhandle so that we could go back, get Rosie, and Kim and her could take off because it was an emergency situation, we lost the front tire on the van. So we cannot let it idle because one of the electric fans on the radiator is broke. And so at idle, the van overheats, and it overheats quickly. We got the grandbaby in the van with us. Bad tire, a very ill goat in the back, and so we had no choice but to use, we've been using the money that we had been saving to put toward the property. That all of that went into Goomba. We had a little bit left from the vet, but the tire went out and we had no choice. There wasn't an option to put the spare on because our spare is flat too. And so we used that last little bit. We got the tire put on, and we just winged it. Kim reached out to a bunch of her friends. I reached out to some people. We're trying to get a loan to cover getting Goomba treatment. And these last couple of years, God's been real good to us, and things would just fall in order. The veterinarians have been working with us, cutting us huge breaks, and it's just been a tremendous help. And it's, without a doubt, God intervening and helping us to achieve what we do, which is to save these animals' lives and try to provide the best life form that we can. And so through faith, she got on the road and took off, and we didn't have it. I did a last minute emergency video. I put it out asking you guys for help, prayers, whatever you could do. And thanks to all of you, we got him up to Auburn.
Yes.
And they did. He went through 12 hours of continuous testing, and they done everything. They even gave him a blood transfusion. When they give him the new blood, where your body produces platelets, red cells, his body would produce them, and something would attack them and just destroy the cells, eating the walls off of them, destroying them.
The platelets, you name it.
But I'll just let Kim kind of explain the test, what they were doing.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is the first time I'm really been on camera. First off, I want to thank y'all for the prayers, the donations. It reduced my stress level greatly. The vet, when we got to the vet at about 10:30 that night, he started passing blood through his rectum, and it wasn't just feces; it was straight up blood. They were picking out blood clots and everything. Which the vet, she goes, "That's not good," and I say, "I know." And it ended up that the grain wasn't the cause of the urinary calculi, where I learned that urinary calculi can be a symptom of a far worse disease. And what they did was they started him on the boluses. They gave him something for pain, which did not touch. It did not help him at all. And they gave him, they ran numerous ultrasounds. They found issues wrong with his kidneys and lesions on his liver. His intestines were just passing blood clots. And that's a sign of that there's a blood disease going on.
Yeah, it's a breakdown of the walls of the intestine, where they're literally degrading quickly.
It's also the blood. He was passing the blood platelets, the old blood platelets, the blood cells itself. He wasn't absorbing anything. And they gave him a blood transfusion. And they called me up and asked me if I could authorize a blood transfusion, and I did authorize it. He still had some fight going, and it didn't help. I went the following morning after Rosie and I left the hotel, and I spent an hour talking with the vet. And we got to see Goomba, and he was very stumped on what's going on. He says he was a very, very sick goat. Right now, what you're looking at is not a goat. And I talked to Goomba, and I looked at Goomba, and I said, "Goomba, what do you want me to do?" And he just put his head down, and then he started screaming out in pain. And I was like, "Okay, I understand what you want me to do." And so I made the very hard decision. Us as people, sometimes we don't agree with the euthanization, and they didn't agree. They said, as long as there's a will, we're willing to try it. And that's me, and that's Donnie. But Goomba's will was not there. He
fought the whole time.
He fought the whole time.
And when they got up there, he gave out. And,
yeah, I mean, the minute I agreed to the euthanization, they had him all set up and ready to go. And the veterinarian, Auburn University Vet School is like amazing. And it's not all clinical. They are guiding the client, the owner. They treat you like a friend and like family. And I told him, I said, he's done. Goomba's done. Not as in dead, but there wasn't Goomba in that body.
You know, the thing with goats, if you've never been around them, of all the animals that are raised and uh, farmed, so to speak, by man, of all of them, the cows, the horses, the sheep, dogs, cats, ferrets, every animal that we take in as pets or livestock, the goat has the lowest will to survive of all of them. A goat could have a hurt toe. They have two toes, like a cloven foot. They have two toes on each leg, like a deer does. They could have a minor injury in one of those toes, and they'll lay down and die. They'll
Yeah.
just give up. And Goomba, he fought, and we've only had 2 or 3 goats through all these years that have actually fought, tried to beat it, and 2 of them did. With Goomba, we didn't have an option. They give him anywhere from 8 hours to 36 hours, and he was
Yeah,
going to die.
he was done.
And we didn't have a choice in it. We had to have him put down, and they still don't know what's going on with him. It was similar to CD&T, and we did the farm inoculations to all of the animals this past October. It's due again this coming October. But it was not CD&T, though it was very similar in the symptoms. And they want us now to re-inoculate, even though it's early, it's real early. They want us to go ahead and inoculate all of them. Whatever this is, they don't know what it is. It's something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
Instead of him bringing Goomba home so that we could bury him,
I did a necropsy.
we have a plot where we put the animals. Even the ones, when we go to pick up a rescue, sometimes they die before we even get home. They're in such bad shape. We have an area, we just don't dig a hole and throw them to the worms. We have areas dedicated for the animals. And we wanted to bring him home, but they would never know how to treat that again if someone else comes up with it. And so we decided to surrender Goomba's body to the University of Auburn. So they're going to do a full necropsy on him. And since we surrendered him for their studies, whatever they learn there, that gets shared with veterinarians throughout the country, and they all learn. And it could be something really bad that could wipe out millions of goats. If it's zoological, it can wipe out horses, dogs, cats, people.
Humans, yes.
Any living mammal. By surrendering him there, they're doing the necropsy, which is basically a very in-depth autopsy. They did not charge us. When she got up there, hotels are $100 a room. She couldn't find a hotel. We didn't have the funding for it. And through one of the people at the hospital there, they set it up. It was a low-end hotel, but it was extremely cheap. And they were going to sleep in the van in the parking lot. And I didn't want them sleeping there. They're away from home. If something happens, I can't get to them. It'll take me 3 hours to get there if I keep 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in 3 minutes, an entire family could be wiped out by a bad person with bad intent. And there was no way. It was either they sleep in the lobby, which they couldn't because the rules of the facility, and they came in after hours to meet her to take Goomba. That was the whole purpose of them coming in, was for him. They cut us a lot of breaks. We ended up, the bill on him was just shy of $2,000. They told us $2,500. It was 1970 something total. And through a few friends we have here that are not part of our YouTube family, they helped us. We had $100 and something to our name. Kim used all of it, And then those of you, our brothers and sisters here that have helped us, we were able to cover it.
The
And
prayers.
Kim and Rosie made it home, and we didn't have to borrow anything extra. It was tight, but everything lined up perfectly, and through the will and grace of God, things do come together like that. And we just absolutely wanted to give you all our love and our absolute thanks and gratitude for what you have
Yes.
done through the prayers, the well wishes, those of you that were sending the good energies and good vibes, and those of you who have contributed toward the cost of doing this. We just want to thank all of you. I did pull that video down. Please do not send anything else. If you were considering sending a couple dollars to help, please do not. He's took care of, and the whole purpose of asking was for Goomba.
Yeah.
It wasn't for the others. We've got 2 right now. Something's going on with them. It may be the same thing. And so we have, today I got to get back. I've got to, the area where Goomba was sleeping, I've got to remove all the dirt. I got to take all of that out, tear that structure down. We got to get it all clear to prevent, if it's contagious, to prevent it from spreading. We don't know what's going on with these other 2. What we've dealt with, the feed got really bad. The quality of the feed got horrible. And I got to turn my ringer off. I'm getting multiple messages. I'll get a call here in a minute if I don't. The quality of the feed that we were using, we used Tasty 10, which is made by Tucker Millen. And we've used it for years. This year the quality started suffering. And the last 4 or 5 loads we picked up, each time it's worse and worse. It is a pelleted feed, and it has rolled corn and rolled oats in it. That's where they basically roll a heavy press over them and crush the oats and the corn kernels flat. And then it's got molasses and it's got pellets. The feed started coming where a quarter of the bag was like coffee grounds. And then the next load, half the bag was like coffee grounds. The last load, we
It
had
was
about
pretty bad.
20% that was pellets. It had what looked like sliced mushrooms that have been dehydrated. Very rubbery, I don't know what it is. We showed the people at the feed store, we returned the entire load. And we couldn't feed them any grain that night because all of it was bad. They've had problems with it, but the problems that we've been having this last 2 weeks with the goats started with the feed. So we are no longer going to be using any feed from that company. We're still going to deal with the same feed store. They're wonderful people at Brickyard Market in Chipley, Florida. It's not them, it's Tucker Millen, the feed company, is where the problem is coming from. But we don't know that the feed is causing it, and that's what the doctors at Auburn University said.
He said it was not the feed.
Yeah, well, he said it was not the feed, but they don't know where it came from. So
Right.
it could be the feed. Some of the illnesses we've dealt with in the past are airborne, and they literally blow across the ground like a tumbleweed, like parvo does for dogs. If you got a house a block down the road from you and they get parvo, there's a pretty good chance your dogs are going to get it. It travels, it's airborne. And it could be an airborne disease that they don't know what it is.
No.
But as soon as they find out, when they do the full necropsy on him and they find out what it was, Kim will be contacted, and then we will know. And they'll contact our vet, and they'll send all the information, the data sheet for what they
Right.
found to them, just to keep all the veterinarians in the loop, because Auburn University is big time. Their veterinary clinic is huge. They take in animals from all over this half of the United States. And they are just east of Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh yeah.
And there's not much they can't do.
I learned.
They're the only veterinary clinic in this part of the country that can repair a ruptured bladder. And I didn't think it was even possible, but they can do it. And they're just an incredible outfit. And for them to be stumped over this, we're living in bad times. We're in the end times. And I don't know where this stuff is coming from. Is it being sprayed in our atmosphere? We don't know. It could be the feed. It could be something they're intentionally putting in the atmosphere. It could be a combination of things coming together and doing this. But anyhow, what we're getting at, the whole purpose of this is just to fill you guys in, let you know what was going on, what happened with the Goomba. He is no longer with us. We thank you all tremendously. You have no idea how big the help was. And this goes all the way down
Oh, yes.
to the people sending a message with the prayer emoji on it. I mean, down to the smallest thing. All of this helped.
Yes.
And Goomba wouldn't have had a chance at all if it weren't for all of you. And we wanted to thank you.
I want to thank you. If anybody is interested in keeping up with the prognosis and with Goomba and the journey that Goomba has allowed me to take, I'm going to write it up and put it on the Facebook page, the Standing Goats Rescue Facebook page. That is nothing but goat emergencies. I admit I haven't been on there in a while because of my back and some other issues, but I will put that up as soon as I get all the information together and I talk with my vet and the veterinarians over at Auburn. I want to make sure I have everything right before I write it up, and then I will post it and we can go that way. I want to put out there that if anybody has any symptoms that have goats, I don't care if you're in Florida or way on the other side of the world, write them down. Do not ignore them because we could be facing an endemic here. And that's why we want to know what is going on. I had a friend who had a goat. Well, she lost her herd because of this. And I mentioned that to the vets in Auburn. He says, uh-oh, that's not good. I said, no. He says, well, we could be getting an endemic. And I'm like, yo. So I will put it on the YouTube page as soon as I get it all written up. Just give me some time. On Facebook. Not YouTube. I'm sorry, on Facebook. I'm tired. It was a long drive and I'm exhausted. But I will do that because it's a learning. My page is a learning page, and I learned a lot up there. They teach you as they go. They show you what they're gonna do. They go step by step by step, and they explain the different causes. And if you have questions, they're glad. There is no stupid question. As a nurse, there's no stupid question. Ask. So, just keep your vet informed. Keep your vet informed because it could be the oldest inoculation could knock this stuff out, could prevent the deaths of so many and the
Once they
spreading.
figure out what it is, and that's where we're at now. They don't know what it is. The symptoms, everything that he was going through, what Goomba was going through, they've never seen before. They've seen the individual symptoms, but not all of them. He had
So
just
many.
as an example, imagine a human getting sick, going to the hospital, and you got one of the symptoms of measles. You have one of the symptoms of chicken pox. You have one of the symptoms of the flu. You got a symptom of hay fever. You got one symptom from 100 different diseases. How do they diagnose that? And that's where we're at with Goomba. He had symptoms of so many different things. They did a parasite check, and he had his parasite count was so low, it was as though he was just given the dewormer and the parasite injections to remove them. He was clean, and the parasites are definitely not the cause of it, but they don't know what it is.
There was no coccidia.
Yeah, the coccidia is common with the goats. For those of you that have them, you know that.
There was none.
If you guys do decide to reach out to Kim, you cannot get a hold of me through Standing Goats Rescue on Facebook. I am not affiliated with that, other than I'm her husband and I'm hands-on with the animals. But as far as the Facebook page, I do not have Facebook. I do not have an access to it. I had it, and the account was hacked. Somebody started sending nasty pornography type stuff to all of my friends in the friend list, the contact list on Facebook, and I sent them a letter, my opinions on that, and I told them to remove my account. I'm done. I can't have that mess going out to the people that I care for, which is all of you, and I don't want to see it, and I know you guys definitely don't want to see it. But anyhow, the Facebook page is only for goats. If you have something in regards to anything you'd like to share with us here, whether it be a cryptid encounter, a story, anything outside of goats, you'll have to email me, and that's standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. That is for the YouTube channel. The Facebook is for the goats alone. But I just wanted to get that out. And guys, another thing, I got my glasses. I can see finally.
Yay!
I'm very happy for that. It's just a learning curve to get used to, how you have to look through them. But I can read. We have articles, and I will probably, depending on how today goes, I may end up doing a show tonight and sharing some articles with you. But guys, thank you all. Thank you greatly.
Thank you.
And two of you have contributed to help with the process of this whole issue with Goomba. I tried to respond to you, to thank you, and it did not give me an option. There was no email. There was no way for me to reach out to you to thank you for it. If you're watching this and you helped out with making this happen and you have not heard from me, thank you tremendously. You have no idea how much help all of you have done. It is on the verge of miraculous what happened in such little time. And it came together. It was almost perfect. The cost of the visit, her and Rosie to stay in a $40 hotel, and for them to get home, it was almost broke even, and that would never happen without God stepping in. Without His involvement, that would never happen. And I just want to thank you. We both want to thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Even though we lost Goomba, it's temporary. God says there's a place in my kingdom for all of my creation, and we'll absolutely see him again. It's just hurtful when you lose a member of your family, whether it be a furry, four-legged member, a feathered member, or one with gills and scales. It's hurtful when you lose them. And we try so hard with these animals. We don't have vacation time. We're not able to do the things that most people our age do, because all of our money that we have, which isn't much, everything goes into the goats. And if it weren't for the help from Kim's family, we would have never have gotten the new property. And they made all of that happen. We got it. And with the home, we've got help. We're having to come up with a down payment, and they've got that ready for us whenever they get the paperwork done. But anyhow, what I'm getting at, praise the Lord God for what He's done to make all of this happen. And we praise all of you and thank all of you for intervening when we absolutely needed the help. And I can't thank you enough. We love all of you.
Yes.
And if there's anything that we can do, either one of us, please don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to speak to Kim about anything, whether it be a personal issue, needing help with an animal, anything at all. You can reach her on the Facebook page, Standing Goats Rescue. If you need to reach out to me, the easiest way is through the email, which is standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. The Outlook account, I had to close it because so many emails were not coming to me. And we lost, I don't know how, it was dozens that were emailed in to me, and 2 of the people were in a bad way and needed help. And I never received their email. And so that was the reason we closed the Outlook email. All we have is the Yahoo, standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. Well, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get back home and get to work on the goats. We've got so much to do today.
Yes.
We love you. We'll absolutely see you again. And if all goes well, sometime this evening, I will try to put a live show together and just to talk to all of you and just see you guys and to share some articles with you. But, thank you again. Y'all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. And all you do,
yes.
Be kind, be blessed.
Treat each other with kindness.
Absolutely. And we will definitely see you guys very soon. God bless you.
God bless you.
You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Now you gotta help me up.
Oh.
Ow. Ow, ow. Ow. Now get my bucket. Ow. I'm not totally disabled yet.
We left our seats. Take care, guys.